Gabriel Martinelli's form this season has been concerning. After Arsenal's frustrating, and I'm hitting frustrating 0-0 draw with Everton, it's time we talk about what's really going on with Gabriel Martinelli. Going into the game, you're thinking to yourself, this is an awesome chance for Martinelli to maybe get 1 or 2 goals, put in a good performance, and get some momentum going, because we all know that he desperately needs it. He's going up at home against, yes, a solid defensive Everton team, but it's a one-on-one battle with a 39-year-old Ashley Young. And you're thinking to yourself, Martinelli must be licking his lips. Now, personally, I would have started Leandro Trossard for the game, purely because I think Trossard works better against quote-unquote defensive teams or teams that sit in a block, whereas I think Martinelli works better against teams that play a higher line. Regardless, I'm not Arteta. Arteta made his decision, but I'm still thinking to myself, this is a really good opportunity for Martinelli to dominate and maybe even look like the Martinelli we saw 2 years ago. But it was anything but. Martinelli had 1 or 2 maybe moments of note, but other than that, he was mainly absent. And that is extremely disappointing from a 23-year-old who is desperately fighting for his opportunity to go ahead of Leandro Trossard in our best 11. And honestly, after a performance like this, I don't think he's in our best 11. Not anymore. If you look at Martinelli's stats from the game, it just looks really sad. There's no other way to say it. He played 74 minutes, had 2 shots the whole game, 23 out of 26 accurate passes. Admittedly, that's pretty decent. 2 chances created isn't horrible, to be fair, but then you look at the rest of his stats. I mean, out of his 2 shots, 1 of them were blocked. He had 45 touches, 6 touches in the opposition box, which isn't bad, but then you look at it, successful dribbles, 0 out of 5, which is insane. He had an offside, surprise, surprise. He was dispossessed twice, 1 out of 3 accurate crosses only. Non-penalty XP of 0.12, which is absolutely nothing. Defensively, he did nothing as well other than 4 recoveries, and out of the duels that he was in, he lost 7 of them, winning 1 out of 8, winning 13% of ground duels against a 39-year-old Ashley Young. Ashley Young wasn't dribbled past once the entire game, and he won 7 out of his 9 duels. That's alarming stats from Martinelli. And according to SofaScore, Martinelli lost possession for Arsenal 14 times. So again, he wasn't anonymous completely, he wasn't completely absent, and he didn't put out a performance that made you think he is absolutely trash, because he is still a good 23-year-old player, but he wasn't decisive, and he did definitely cost us a couple opportunities. And if you look at the broader context outside of this Everton game, because you know what, some players you can have off days. I'm not going to get on him just for that. It's fine. Everyone has an off day. And to be fair, most of the team had an off day. But Martinelli, in the broader context of everything, has just 3 goals and 2 assists in the league this season. When you compare that to Bukayo Saka, who has 5 goals and 10 assists in the league, the contrast is stark. And in the previous game, like I said, against Fulham, he thought he'd set up the last minute winner for Bukayo Saka, only for it to be ruled out offside, with Paul Merson coming out and saying that the offside positioning from Martinelli was criminal, especially because Martinelli, first of all, has the pace to stay onside, but also when you look at that offside, he's looking at the line. As an attacker, you can see if you're offside or not. You can see what part of you is offside, and you know with VAR you can't get away with it. He should have been onside, and if he was onside, if he was a yard behind where he was there, we still would have got the goal. So that was also a really disappointing moment from Martinelli. And then when you look at Martinelli's stats from the entire season so far, he's played 22 games with only 4 goals and 3 assists. That's nothing. That is not good enough. He's had 1 goal and 1 assist in 494 minutes in the Champions League. Not good enough in any way, shape or form for Martinelli. Martinelli was supposed to be Arsenal's next big superstar alongside Bukayo Saka, but this season, and to be fair last season, something's going seriously wrong, and I don't know what it is. When he's in the final third with the ball at his feet, you used to think 2 years ago something awesome is going to happen. He's going to take on a player, he's going to shoot from long range, something is going to happen. But nowadays, you just expect him to look back to the fullback, play the pass back to the left back, and kind of hope the rest happens. He has had some good moments throughout the season, and he had moments where maybe prematurely some of us thought he's getting back to his best, but it's just really not clicking for him. And then you have to ask yourself, is this a dip in form for Martinelli, or is this something deeper? Because a dip in form is fine, it's acceptable, but this has been going on for now almost 2 seasons. Martinelli set the bar high 2 seasons ago with 15 league goals, but right now he looks far from that level. His struggles against low block defenses like Everton aren't new, and his game relies on space and quick transitions, which is exactly why it was so easy for Everton to nullify him. But even in games you think about Manchester United where we play against high line teams, he still struggles in those areas. And nowadays, even when he's isolated one-on-one with a fullback, that's when he's at his best, right? No, he just hasn't looked sharp enough, and oftentimes we saw against Ashley Young, he can't even beat the fullback one-on-one, and he usually just recycles the ball. And if he does try to take the fullback one-on-one, it usually goes out for a goal kick. This was a must-win game against an Everton side that I kind of rate, to be fair, but they are struggling. They're 15th from the table, and Martinelli Martinelli's performance when we needed him the most was far from his best. You look at Bukayo Saka. Yes, Bukayo Saka didn't score, get an assist, but every time he touched the ball, did something. He was probably our best player. He did something with pace. He tried to take on Mikalenko, who had an amazing performance. Martinelli on the other side didn't really do anything, and honestly, he should have been pulled off way earlier than the 74th minute. I don't know why Trossard didn't start ahead of Martinelli in a game like this, but even so, this was an awesome opportunity for Martinelli against a 39-year-old fullback to prove himself, and he didn't. Mikel Arteta still trusts Martinelli, and I understand that. He is still 23 years old. He's proven in moments, even with his dip in form, that he can perform well, but with Leandro Trossard, Ethan Nwaneri, who can play on the wing if he needed to, Raheem Sterling pushing for minutes, and the talk of Arsenal looking for a clinical winger in the window like Rafinha, which I think would be awesome. I just don't know how realistic that is. I just don't know how much longer Martinelli has left. If Arsenal have serious title ambitions, and I still believe, call me crazy, that we could still win the title, we're only 6 points behind Liverpool, they could easily lose their game in hand and then it's game on. But if Arsenal have serious title ambitions, we need more from the left hand side. We can't always rely on the right hand side. Right now, Martinelli's grip on his starting spot feels weaker than ever, and in the next game I won't be surprised if Martinelli becomes an unused substitute. But I don't know, is this all just a bad patch, or has Martinelli's form permanently dipped? Let me know in the comments below. Please be sure to smash the like button, subscribe if you guys haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.